Hi, sweetie. I am so sorry you're not feeling good. Yeah, thought I'd come over, help cheer you up. Do you need anything? Any tea? Anything to eat? Yeah, you look like they're taking pretty good care of you. You got enough tea? Okay. Well, I had an idea. You know those YouTube videos that I do? So they're all about relaxation, right? And helping fall asleep. And somebody recently asked me if I would do a video of reading through a hairdressing magazine. And I need to steal one from the salon. I don't have one at home, and I don't get any fashion magazines, so I don't have that. But I brought over one of my favorite magazines, and it's Islands. Yeah, I just got it in the mail today. And I usually read through it with my son, and we look at all the pictures. And I thought it might be nice if you wanted to just close your eyes and relax, and I will read through it to you, and you can imagine the beautiful places and relaxing on the beach. I'm not going to read it all to you. I'm just going to kind of describe each page. Does that sound okay? Okay. You comfortable? Here, let me fluff up the pillow a little bit. Okay. Oh, hi. Okay. Alright. So the way I always read a magazine is I always flip to the back first. I think a lot of people do. And there's a picture of a tiny little island with a little airplane that's landed on the water next to the island. And apparently it's one of the 1,700 islands in the Florida Keys. And I guess one of those islands is called Ramrod, and another one is called No Name. And it's asking you to guess what island it is. I have no idea. I have never been to the Florida Keys. So, and this Islands magazine has an article on 25 exotic escapes. I got a little bit of nail polish on it last time I did my nails. 6 Caribbean trips for less than $200 a day. I don't have $200 a day. My trips need to be like $200 a week. 12 days without words. So then we have an ad for a brand new sandals. Oh, they look pretty. Pink Gin Village. South Seas Millionaire 1-bedroom butler suite. I don't think I'd like to have a butler. No, when we lived in Indonesia, the house that we stayed in had what they call a pembantu, which is basically live-in help. It was a family that lived there. And basically after a couple of weeks they lived there, but we didn't really have them do anything because she would sometimes do my laundry, just because they didn't have a washing machine. You had to hand wash everything. So she would occasionally do my laundry, and I guess they kind of took care of the garden. But we didn't want them in the bedroom. It was just weird having live-in help. And of course we weren't gonna, the landlord paid for them to be there, so we weren't gonna displace them. That was where they lived, but it was just kind of weird for us. So I guess this magazine is about like finding, they have some like low cost ways to get like these more adventurous Vacations. An ad for Aston Hotels and Resorts. I don't know Aston. Looks like they're mostly in Hawaii. More ads for Hawaii. I want to go to Hawaii bad. I want to go to Kauai because it just looks so incredibly beautiful. What is this ad for? Breathless Punta Cana Resort and Spa. I want to go to a destination spa. I don't know if I'll ever get to one, but maybe someday. Best cruises for 2014. Sail Windjammer, Small Caribbean Ports. Number 2 is Carnival, Play All the Way to Fiji, and Oceania, Wake Up in Greece. I did take a cruise once, and it was on Carnival, and I hated it. And I know that sounds so obnoxious. That sounds so... yeah, my parents took me on a cruise, and I hated it. The reason I hated it is I got motion sick, and I always get motion sick. And I had put on these little motion sick patches, and they did help, but one of the side effects is blurry vision, so I couldn't read. And a vacation to me, a lot of vacation means reading. It's a chance to sit down, like read whole books with long stretches of time to do that. And so I took them off, so I was uncomfortable. I could read, but I was uncomfortable. And let's see. There's an ad for, Paul Gauguin Cruises to Tahiti. Yeah, some of the small river boat cruises sound interesting, but I don't know. I don't think I want to spend the money to be on a boat. I want to be in a place, not on a boat. And if it's really just about relaxing, I'd rather go to one place and just be there, kind of. Oasis Hotels and Resorts. I don't know them either. White Turf. It's time to stroll again on Kalangaman Island. Oh, it's out in the Philippines. Oh, what a pretty picture. It's got this picture of just people walking out on like a sand bridge to this island. Beautiful. Security system. Oh, this is the Faroes Island. It's very green. It's up north. It looks like it's near Greenland. Yeah, an island needs to be warm for me. Top Shelf from Jake's Hotel, Jamaica is in rare form. I did go to Jamaica on my cruise. I like Jamaica. But again, I liked Jamaica and we were only there for 4 hours, which kind of annoyed me. Again, I'd much rather stay in a place and kind of immerse myself there. Palace Resorts. Sacred Sites. Oh, they were talking about the Polynesian Triangle, all the places that this guy has been. And then they always do like their shopping stuff. And they're always like so outrageously expensive. Yeah, the jacket's $219. Actually, that's not bad at all. And they have convertible pants to shorts. Those are $80. It's not too bad. And a really cute dress, which is $19.97. Are you kidding me? Dress to skirt. Oh, it's like one of those bandeau skirts, dresses. I don't know if it'd be long enough for me to wear it. I mean, if it'd be short enough for me to wear it as a skirt. It's so short. It's really cute. Not that I need clothes. I don't need clothes. Maui's Non-Stop Party Lady. So some article about, for her there couldn't be a more perfect fit than the Rainbow State. I have never been to Hawaii. My husband's been twice. I take that back. I have been to Hawaii many times, but I have never been outside of the airport. because one of the flights I used to take all the time would go from wherever we were living, which was usually New England, to Houston, overnight in Houston, pick up gas in LA, LA to Hawaii, Hawaii to Guam, and Guam to Bali. And I liked that flight because I like to get off the plane and walk around. And none of those flights were more than 7 hours long. When you fly from, I'm trying to think, Vancouver to Japan or Singapore, I'm not sure where you stop. It's either Japan, Hong Kong, or Singapore. I can't remember. I haven't done this flight in a while. But it's 14 hours in the air. And I want to kill myself. 14 hours in the air. Apparently there's a direct flight from New York to Singapore now. I can't imagine. That's got to be like 18 or 20 hours in the air. I would go insane. That trip is so rough as it is. The other fresh seafood. So this is a whole bunch of different places. Santa Lucia, Wales, Mallorca, Flores, Fiji. She must be a chef that travels around. Nicaragua. Or, as David Sedaris would say, Nicaragua. Sorry, I hope that didn't offend anybody. Another ad for Fiji. I wouldn't mind going to Fiji, although all of our money goes to going to Indonesia anyway. So, monkey. Hi, monkey. I've seen a lot of those monkeys. It's in Mount Kilimutu in Flores. Chocolate manna. I don't know what that article is going to be about. Where are they? Oh, Mallorca. I haven't been to Mallorca. Nicaragua rising. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. That's beautiful. Yeah, I wouldn't mind going to Nicaragua. I wouldn't mind going somewhere where I could use my Spanish again. I haven't used my Spanish in like 20 years, and I've pretty much lost it all. But I have a feeling I would get it back pretty quickly. I still understand when people speak Spanish. I just can't. When I try to speak Spanish, Indonesian comes out of my mouth. Apparently my brain only has room for one additional language other than English. And Indonesian is what is in my brain. Not that I can speak Indonesian well anymore, because I haven't used that in, 4 or 5 years. Man, I'm old. How did I get so old? These are all pictures of Nicaragua. I like South America. I would really like to go back to South America. I've only been to Chile, and I would like to visit lots of other places, and I like volcanoes. I think they're beautiful. My dad and I were talking about earthquakes the other day. And even though my dad came to Chile with me at one point, and my dad came to Bali with me at one point, he was only in an earthquake here down south where we live. And it was totally fluke. Like, we don't ever have earthquakes out here, and we happen to have one. I was in at least one in Chile. I've been in a couple in Indonesia. One was pretty big. We were pretty far away from it, though, so it didn't bother us too much, but the chandelier was just going back and forth. So when we had one here a couple years ago, probably 4 years ago, I knew exactly what it was, and I said, it's an earthquake, let's get outside, and nobody would believe me, because we don't have earthquakes here. But I finally got everybody outside, and everybody's running around the complex saying, what's going on? My parents live in a condo. And I said, it's an earthquake. And people wouldn't believe me until it came up on the news that it was an earthquake. So, oh, that's pretty. Look at that. That's the Bahamas. Look at that one. Beautiful. Mount Desert Island in Acadia. It's ridiculous that living in New England for as long as I did, I never got up to, well, I got into Maine, just like barely over the border into Maine. I never went up into Acadia. Dry Tortuga. Huh, that's really cool. Like a forted city. The walls are like right... Yeah, the walls go right into the water. That's really neat. They're technically in the U.S., but closer to Cuba than to the Florida Peninsula. Dry Tortugas. Huh. I don't know anything about that. Is that really? Yeah, wow. Channel Islands, Orca Islands. All these islands I don't even know about. Proof of Paradise. This is not Tahiti. It's the scene of a Paul Gauguin painting. Yes, but this is Martinique. Ooh, that's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful pictures of Martinique. I am not one to sit on a beach, though. I like islands if they really have an interesting culture there. I think Bali's all about culture. It's fun. And it definitely takes me out of my element. But I'm not about just going and sitting. Like, I didn't like Grand Cayman very much. And I'm not saying that there's not some culture there. There may be, but you would really have to know where to look for it. And it really just felt like a beach. It felt like it could have been Florida. But I liked Cancun. But also my Spanish was really good when we went to Cancun. So we didn't have to stay in the touristy areas because my Spanish was good and I could get around. Because it was right after I had gotten back from Chile. Distant and direct. Ooh, Fiji. Man, look at that hotel. Who can afford to stay at a place like that? Actually, I know who can afford to stay in a place like that. Because I used to evaluate hotels like that. And I would have to pretend that I was the kind of people that would stay in a hotel like that. It's not that hard to pretend. You have to just make sure you don't seem awestruck by any of the amazingness of some of those hotels. Abu Dhabi. I don't really have a great desire to go to Abu Dhabi, but maybe it's because I don't know enough about it. Cape Verde, the Azores, uneasy and underwater. Matthew Smith hasn't spoken in 12 days. He's the type of guy you'd only find here in Ahmed in North Bali. I've been there. That's Ahmed. We drove up on a motorbike. And Bali is not a big island, but you really don't want to be on a motorbike for that long. So we were on a motorbike for like a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours, to get to the north of Bali. And it is beautiful. It's got black sand beaches and it's quieter than southern Bali. But the drive was a killer. No, so it must be like a yoga retreat or something up in the north of Bali. Oh, he took a vow of silence. And he's obviously a diver. Oh, in his little beach view villa, stretching, breathing, this is his search. Oh, that'll be an interesting article to read. Do you want to borrow this when I'm done with it? When you're feeling better. Okay. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. No, I'm going to talk to you, but I'm not going to ask you any questions. I want you to go to sleep, okay? Close your eyes. Ultimate Caribbean on $200 or less a day. Bay Island. Yes, it's still in the Caribbean. Oh. Huh. It's pretty close. Antigua. Grand Bahama. Dominica. Curacao. Bay Island. And part of Roatan? Interesting, that would be cool. It's a little over 3 hours from Atlanta. Not bad. Anguilla, is that how you say it? Probably. There aren't a lot of pictures on this. Dominica on $62 a day. That's not bad. Curacao on $73 a day. Grand Bahama. I wouldn't mind going to the Bahamas, I don't think. But I don't need to either. Is this an ad? Yeah, an ad on Mexico. And then lots of ads on Belize, St. Martin, Antigua, St. John. And that's the magazine. Yeah, it's really beautiful. There's not a lot of writing in it. It's kind of my fun little, like, getaway magazine. So I just kind of like to flip through it and look at the pictures. My husband doesn't understand why I read travel magazines, because he thinks they're just got a lot of expensive hotels in them. But I like the fantasy of travel. Even if I'm not doing it, I don't feel the need to stay in these really expensive, outrageous hotels. I like reading about them. I like looking at the pictures. So, how are you doing over there? Are you asleep? Oh, good. Okay. Feel better, honey?